Welcome to Insights into Insurance from the A-Team at Americana Insurance Group. All information provided is educational in nature and not intended to be acted upon without first consulting the appropriately licensed professional.
It's a Saturday morning, and that means it is time for our Insights into Insurance program with Americana Insurance here on 1450 KATE. Mike Whitus, your host, along with Tom Sorensen from Americana Insurance. Good morning to you, Tom.
Hey, good morning, Mike. What is this weather going to do? We go from 30 below to 40 to above, and snow and ice, and I don't know.
I haven't figured it out, but, last Saturday, Puxatony Phil, I call him the oversized rat, said spring will be here in 6 weeks. The only bad part is when he does make that prediction, he's only usually right like 40% of the time.
That's what I heard. 40% of the time he's right. Kind of like me.
There you go. Except you've got the right answers when someone does have a question about their insurance. So that's the big thing.
I sure try.
Let's start off. We don't have an email from any of our listeners this morning on the program. But,
Nope.
We're talking about we've had extreme weather conditions. We went from well below zero, 35, 40 below zero with the wind chills. And then this past weekend, it was beautiful. The water was running. The snow was melting. But as we talk about cold weather, because this weekend, of course, it's cold again.
Right.
Let's talk about the cold weather. And, I know folks have called your agency and said, surprise, you're actually open.
Right. Yeah, Mike, all I can say is I'm pretty passionate about the subject. I guess I asked the listeners, was your agency open during that, 25, 30 below time when we had wind chills, 50, 60 below? To me, I think that's when we have to step up to the plate. When things are tough for people, that's when insurance agencies have to be there for them. So I would ask those listeners, I ask you, if they were to close during that time, what would happen if a local disaster were to hit?
With that cold weather, Tom, maybe some folks had their water pipe break. And it was numerous around the area. All of a sudden, your water pipe breaks in your basement. First thing you're going to do is try to obviously shut your water off, clean the water up, and then you're going to call your insurance agent.
And we had those calls.
Is your insurance agent actually working? Now, granted, on the weekends it's a different story, but Monday through Friday when we had that cold snap and you tried to call your insurance agent, it's pretty hard to get a hold of that lizard on the phone.
Yes, it is. And by the way, on the weekends, you can get a hold of us by our cell phones. But just to give you an example, Hurricane Katrina, okay, down in that Louisiana and all that area, there was agencies down there that their employees, the agency personnel, had lost their homes. You know what those people did? They had to come into work and help other people get through their tragedy. Now, you think about how tough that is, okay? But that's, when you're in an insurance agency, that is basically the commitment that you have to make, okay?
It's a 24/7 job, really, Tom.
It is.
We talked about Hurricane Katrina, but even closer to home, when tornadoes hit over in the Glenville area, they hit over in the Alden area a few years ago.
Yep.
Anytime something like that happens, you as Americana Insurance, you're going to be open, you're going to be available by office phone, cell phone, so that those clients can get a hold of you. And I bring up the lizard because you see all the commercials on TV.
Know.
You can save 15, whatever. Americana Insurance is local here, and if you do have a problem, be it a water pipe that broke or a devastating tornado that hit the home, when the weather comes severe and damaging, whatever it may be, Americana Insurance is there to take care of you.
Well, and you brought back the tornadoes in 2010. Yes, we had 560-some claims out of our agency in that night. And we actually had a scanner on. Suzanne Dixon has always got a scanner on, and she was writing down people that she heard on the scanner of who our clients were. Okay, and so as me and Suzanne and other agents went out that night, and we were out well past midnight and 1 o'clock in the morning, going and visiting these people because we couldn't do anything for them right then other than give them a peace of mind that we were there for them. And it's amazing how people remember that. Okay. And so the other thing I want to make sure is Tom heartless making his people work through this? No. Okay. Our agency has set up policies, procedures, and resources to be able to continue to be open and service our clients during these times. So when it was cold out, okay, us people in town here, we were there, okay. I also have an office in Wells. I got 2 people in Wells that actually went to the Wells office. I actually have resources that they can work from home and still answer phones, okay. So those are the things that I have done and set up. So when these type of issues, and to me, 30 below temperatures, I know that can be serious, but in the insurance world, that's not that big of a deal. And, it would be different if it was tornadoes or whatever, but we got that set up.
And the policies, the procedures, and more importantly, Tom, with Americana Insurance, the resources. If we do need to have an adjuster, you've got the names of those adjusters,
yep.
And they're not going to just say, well, I'll show up on Monday if something happens on a Thursday. As soon as they get the call, they set up their resources to get an adjuster in place.
Right. What we have, and we have set up, there's CAT teams, they call it, catastrophe teams, CAT teams, and each company has one. So then all of a sudden, I have had adjusters there the day of or the next day.
The policies are in place, the procedures are in place, and the resources. And no, Tom is not heartless, but he looks out for his client. And we'll kind of go back. Ask your insurance agent if there was a catastrophe, a tornado, or if our water issues with pipes freezing, are you going to be open, or how would I get a hold of you? And really, in some cases, Tom, it's life and death on some of these situations. So it's something that you have to choose.
Yeah, it could be. And I'm not going to say that we can save a person's life by handing in a claim or anything like that. But it can be some pretty serious stuff, and they just need to get that peace of mind talking to us.
It's something to think about, folks, when you're looking at insurance. Yes, there are other options. We do know that. But we thought today we'd talk with Tom with Americana Insurance. And why not give their group a call? You now know that they're the A-team. They're going to be there in times of good times, in times of bad times. But they're going to be open when you need to get a hold of them at 377-2000.
Mike, and it's the life and the profession we chose, okay? If any of my people would not want to be doing this or say, I can't do that it's the profession we chose, and they need to be there.
It's a 24/7.
It is.
Sometimes it's a countless profession.
Yep.
It's never a fun time if there's a tornado or some type of disaster that your agents have to go out and deal with and have the adjusters come in. But the good thing to know is you're there walking hand in hand and walking your clients through their claims versus trying to get a hold of somebody out on a long-distance phone call and you're not getting an answer.
Right.
Don't buy your insurance on the phone. Visit with Americana Insurance in person. Let's take a quick break, Tom. We've got a big event, the 19th Annual Ag Summit. That's coming up, and we're going to talk about the Ag Summit, who you have for your featured speaker, and a little more about the 19th Annual Ag Summit when we come back with our Insights into Insurance program here on Kate 1450.
You hear about the farmer who crossed a chili pepper, a shovel, and a poodle? He got a hot diggity dog. Ouch! But speaking of hot diggity dog, it's time for Americana Insurance's 2019 Ag Conference on February 13th at Riverland College in Albert Lea. It's one of the largest in our area, and we'll have local producer stats, crop insurance info, and more, plus breakfast and lunch. This year's featured speaker is grain marketing expert Rich Morrison. Americana Insurance's 2019 Ag Conference on February 13th at Riverland College in Albert Lea.
Welcome back to our Insights into Insurance program on this Saturday morning here on 1450. Mike Whitus along with Tom Sorensen from Americana Insurance. Tom, you've got the 19th Annual Ag Summit. It's coming up quick.
It is on this February 13th.
This coming Wednesday.
Yes, this coming Wednesday, 8:30 a.m. to 12:30. Actually, 8 a.m. We are open for a complimentary breakfast and registration, and it is free to the farming public, not just our clients, but if you're a farmer, you can come. The only thing I ask is you need to RSVP by calling our agency at 377-2000 or email me at toms@americainsurance.com to reserve your seat. And can be husband and wife, so there's some good topics.
And again, we ask that you call ahead so that Tom has an idea of how many people are coming for breakfast. And there's also going to be a lunch.
We're going to have a lunch afterwards at about 12:30. We're going to have a lunch there right at Riverland. And so college here in Albert Lea, by the way, I should say that. Riverland Community College in Albert Lea.
Let's talk about some of the topics. First, you've got a great featured speaker in Rich Morrison.
We do. Rich Morrison is a senior risk analyst at Diversified Services Marketing Group, and he'll be featured speaker at this year's Ag Summit. Rich spent nearly 30 years in the grain industry and currently provides marketing information and risk management advice to grain growers across the nation. He travels across the nation and does these talks. If you've never heard Rich talk, come to this meeting or this summit, and you're going to hear a fantastic speaker.
Some of the other topics, you've got quite a list, so it's not going to be just Rich Morrison talking for 4 hours.
No. I'm going to start out with the whole summit. And I'm going to just go over quickly of what do our farmers, what type of yields did they average this last year? What type of coverages did they buy? So what's the average coverage did they buy? What type of coverages? Did they buy hail insurance with it? Did they not? Did they buy other products with it? So it kind of, that's the first thing that farmers come in and ask me.
Bragging rights.
Well, they come in and ask me, well, what's the other guys doing? Okay, and so this is a good thing to show them. This is what the other guy's doing. And then it's the grain marketing by Rich Morrison. And then we're going to have what we're going to call a breeze through wind and yields or select coverages. So there's a wind coverage out there that I have sold the last 5-6 years, and it has done very, very well for my farmers that have bought it. Okay, there's some other coverages that they can look at possibly adding. With the decrease in prices right now, you can actually purchase a policy up to 85% is the maximum you can buy on your federal crop insurance. Well, we've got a product that can go up to 95% on yield or revenue. The next thing is, what if I, as a farmer, over-report my bushels to crop insurance? Well, hate to say this, but there's a consequence to that. And in 2019, it's brand new. And it's a tough one. Okay, so we'll talk about that. What is the consequence if they do over-report their bushels? It's kind of like an honor system with us, but it can also be audited.
Come back and bite you if you're not doing it correctly.
Right.
Also, I see on the list of topics, Tom, something that a lot of folks maybe take for granted in the farm industry, but that's chemical safety on the farm.
Yeah, and so Dan Tomjack from Nationwide Risk Consultant is going to come in and do a presentation on chemical safety on the farm, which I've seen him do these presentations. It's pretty scary what some of these chemicals can do, and anhydrous ammonia. Oh my gosh, listening to him talk about that just scares the heck out of me. And
where you're storing your chemicals and what containers you're putting your chemicals in.
There's so many things that he goes over. So that's about it. That's about what his presentation is. And then we're going to end the morning session, which can be the end of everything, and they can go to lunch, but is agricultural forum panel. So we'll grab a bunch of people, experts in the industry of you name it, everything from rich to insurance to could be farm insurance, whatever. We'll answer your questions. And then lastly, we, as an optional item, is we have Jolene Honkamp, who has been a guest on this show many times and works in partnership with our agency with Land is Your Legacy, which is a farm succession planning, and she will put on a presentation about that at 1:30.
So there's plenty to see at the 19th Annual Ag Summit. Of course, you've got some sponsors there as well that help put this on, Tom.
We do. We got the gold sponsor, who is Diversified Crop Insurance Services. They're buying the breakfast and the lunch for everybody. Very nice sponsorship. And then the silver sponsorship, which is Farmers Mutual Insurance in Manchester. And then the bronze sponsorship is Nationwide Insurance.
It's coming up next Wednesday, folks. It begins at 8 o'clock with your breakfast and registration, but please call ahead so we can get the right number of people and plenty of food available. At 377-2000 is the number to call and get your seat reserved. It's usually a huge turnout.
Yes.
For 19 years. The 19th Annual Ag Summit coming up this Wednesday at Riverland Community College right here in Albert Lea.
If you're a farmer, you can come.
Tom, that's going to wrap up a quick Saturday morning once again on our Insights into Insurance program. We'll see you on Wednesday. Stop out and kind of listen in to see what the folks have to say about the Ag Summit and what's going on in the farming industry. But again, folks, as we said in our first time around, ask your insurance agent when there's cold weather, if there's a tornado, a natural disaster, is your insurance agent going to be open to answer your phone call? Keep that in mind as we wrap up this Saturday.
Thanks, Mike. We'll be open. 507-377-2000.
They're the A-Team, Americana Insurance Group, here in Albert Lea. That'll wrap up this Saturday edition of our Insights into Insurance program on Kate 1450.
You've been listening to Insights into Insurance from the Americana Insurance Group. All information provided is educational in nature and not intended to be acted upon without first consulting the appropriately licensed professional.